Welcome back to another video, and most importantly, welcome back to the unit where today we're going to be going over the 11 cars which are just sat in here, all in different stages, all with different future plans, and let's just evaluate what's actually happening. Now, starting with my cars, this is my 2000 Honda Logo. It's got a 1.3 D13 non-VTEC engine in it. And basically, this was my old daily until it went for its MOT test. And the MOT tester kindly pushed his thumb through the sill of the car. And then I cut it back, and it was way worse than I thought. I even bought the sill repair panels, and it was just bad inside the wheel arch and everything. So it kind of just got abandoned and broken for parts. So currently what I've sold off it, the front wing, the door, the whole of the power steering system, including the steering rack, the fuel tank, the fuel pump. But other than that, everything's still here. I've got the bumper, it's over there somewhere. Oh, and I sold the boot because it had a rare spoiler on it, which for some reason on a car that no one's ever heard of sells for £200. But this car technically would still run if it had a fuel tank hooked up to it. It's only done, it's either 65 or 75,000 miles. I can't put, can we check actually? Does it say? Nope, it's electronic dash. So I don't know, but it was fairly low mileage. And I love this car. I took it everywhere. I was going to track spec it, like bucket seats, tyre bar calipers, the lot. But of course, the rust just completely halted those plans. So if this video gets 1,000 likes, which is never going to happen, we're going to restore the logo and buy back all the bits that I've sold off it. Now, you may notice that this car doesn't actually have an exhaust manifold on it, and that is because for some reason we decided to run it without a manifold. Now, my friend Dan was stood right in front of the engine recording when it happened, and now he has a blue badge because this car gave him hearing loss in one of his ears. The mighty Honda logo. Now, next we've actually got one of my dream cars, the Nissan 300ZX. Now, I bought this car in, oh no, it was, can I even say last year? No, because I bought this in 2024, so a little over a year ago, as it was December 24. But basically, I bought this to go to the Nürburgring last year. Now, that never ended up happening because Liam's RX-7, which we'll see in a minute, was not ready. This was not ready, and neither of the cars are any closer to being ready. But basically, bought this for £3,500, non-runner. The engine was seized, had to take the engine out, get it bored. And of course, it's just sat like this currently. So at the minute, I'm in the process of stripping the suspension down, stripping everything in there, and I'm going to wire wheel it down, spray a load of underseal, rebuild it, and get it perfect. So once I finish building the engine, it can just drop straight in there, and hopefully we can mount a manual box up to it because this is auto, and get it started. Now, in respect to the engine, we'll go over there and have a look at it. So this here is the engine for my 300ZX. Now, the car is a 3-litre twin-turbo V6, and currently I'm missing the heads for it. So basically they are off at a machine shop currently getting pressure tested and skimmed, ready to fit back onto the engine. Now, I've been away for a while, but the guy's extremely busy, and it's just a case of waiting until I get them back. When I get it back, I can start rebuilding this, putting it all back together. I'd say I've got 85% of the parts. There's still sort of lines and coolant hoses, all that kind of stuff that needs buying. But the majority of it is here. Now, I've put new core plugs in this so far. It's been bored out because, like I mentioned, the engine was rusted solid. So it's, instead of the factory 87mm pistons, it now has 88mm pistons in it. So it was originally like a 2960cc, and now I think it's like a 3045cc. So it's gone up a decent amount, but it doesn't quite qualify as a 3.1 yet, which is unfortunate. But even so, we've got bigger pistons in there. They are Wiseco pistons, stuck with the factory rods because they were absolutely fine. Well, no, sorry. The factory rods are absolutely fine to run the power that I'm going to be running, but the factory rods that came out of this were rusted solid. I'm aiming for 500 wheel horsepower on this. Yes, it's a lot for a 20-year-old. And it's going to be a big step up from an E46 and an MX-5, but I look forward to having this car on the road. I aim to have it on the road by hopefully April, as I want to take this to Japfest this year, but if not, at the latest May, when I go to the Isle of Wight. Now, moving on from the 300ZX, we have one of the most legendary JDM cars ever built, sat here, doing absolutely nothing because it's missing quite an essential piece of the puzzle: the engine. This car is my mate Liam's, and basically it went away to have the wiring loom redone and ECU retuned because it all got fried. And once they'd all tuned, like got a base map on it and whatever, sort of set it up, they found it had low compression. So the apex seals had gone and the whole engine had to be rebuilt. So currently it sits here. The same person who's skimming my head is rebuilding it. I've just scared the crap out of myself. The same person rebuilding this engine is the same person who's skimming my heads for the 300ZX. Now, on this car, you can see carbon bonnet. Yes, the lacquer is peeling. Genuine Ganadors, carbon dash, all your boost gauges and everything over there. This car is single turbo instead of the factory twin turbo. At the minute, it's sat at about 400 horsepower. Liam's goals for it are about 500. Big carbon fiber spoiler, some wheels, which I don't even know what they are, ultralights, so decent set of wheels. Got aftermarket front bumper, aftermarket side skirts, wings, the lot. So it's quite a cool car, and hopefully these cars, well, this car and my 300ZX will be on the road at a similar time, and I can't wait until they are, because to see these cars next to each other actually rolling is going to be a feeling that we've never felt before. Now, of course, we've got to mention the Crystal Blue Graveyard, and not a single one of these are mine. These are all Liam's. So this car at the back here was the car that sort of started mine and Liam's friendship, because of course we both own Crystal Blues. So we started noticing we were local to each other, met up some more, and now we just do everything together. So this car is rotten and has rod knock. So basically that just went, we need a new one. So we bought this one. Now Liam is silly, he did not check if this was a 1.6, because this car's a 1.8 VVT. This is actually a 1.6. So when he bought the car, he went, oh crap, because originally, before the bottom end started knocking on that, he was hoping to swap the engine into this. Found out that this is a 1.6 and we'd have to change the whole loom and everything. So this car sort of just sits here now. It's a fairly solid shell, but it doesn't run. We have no idea why, something to do with the wiring. And the car in the foreground is Liam's latest purchase off of Copart, completely solid, 1.8 VVT for £700, came with a mohair roof, and it's like, that cost double this, but works and just had a little knock on the front. So hopefully this car will be seeing some roads soon enough. It needs a little bit changing on the front end still, but other than that, these cars just sort of sit here. I believe we're going to try and put this one back on the road at some point. This one is getting broken for parts for what's left on it. Might fish the engine out of it and rebuild it, see what happens there. But other than that, that's your Crystal Blues for you. And of course, mine is at home in the garage. Now, of course, Liam being Liam, he likes to have a lot of toys. So you will notice the 3 motorbikes there, CBR 600, a Honda Grom, and an XV650 bobber conversion thing. I don't know, really. I need to get a bike at some point, but I need to get the 300ZX done first. Anyway, moving on to Luke's Supra. Now, this is a fairly recent addition to the unit because, well, we're just starting to get some more people involved with the unit now. Known Luke for a couple of years through shows and stuff. So this is his Mark III Supra Turbo. He's got another engine for it sat over there, which he's planning on forging and doing some very special bits with this. But this is basically missing its interior in the back because he still needs to put it back together. Of course, at the end of the day, it takes a long time to build a car properly, and he's just doing it bit by bit. And it looks very nice for what it is. It's in better condition than, I think, than all of the cars in here, because they don't really work properly. No, the Cupra is just a bit undrivable and never moves. Primera's rotten. Yeah, this is the best car in here because it actually works. Obviously, there's a lot of mods that have been done to this, which will be coming to you in a video pretty soon. But basically, yeah, just his pride and joy. He spent a lot of years building this. It was very rusty. But here it lays, and hopefully you guys can stay tuned and see what Luke actually has planned for this car. Now, moving on to another one of Liam's cars, which he sort of just bought because it was being stored in here, and then the guy ended up moving house, not wanting the car. So what did Liam do? He bought the car off of him, and that is a Nissan Primera GT. Now, I can't really get that close to the car because there is a lot of clutter, but basically, this Primera has the 2-litre SR20DE in it, obviously derived from the BTCC championship winning car. It's just sat here doing absolutely nothing. The sill's pretty rotten on it. We don't know if it runs. He got it for £500, and I think, but then the guy owed him rent, so realistically, it was like £1,000 after like taking the rent off and whatever. But it just sits here now. It's, as you can see, "Clean me please" written on the window, sad face on the bonnet. We really need to get this back on the road, but there's other priorities such as MX-5s and RX-7s to come beforehand. So it just sits here. So if you guys want to see something done with this car, let me know and I will try and convince Liam. But in the current state it sits, I don't really know where to start is the issue. Now, a minute ago, you would have heard me mention a Cupra. Now, this is Josh's Cupra 6J. Bit about this car. So, as you can tell, it is on bags, very low. I'm pretty sure he's put a hole in his downpipe before. It's got 2-inch wider wings on the rear. Got some nice bucket seats in it, I believe. Are they Corbos? Yeah, Corbos. Got a cage in it as well. Remapped to about 220, I believe. But other than that, it's just a standard Cupra, really. On air, I say standard Cupra. It's on air ride. But it just sort of sits here, never really goes anywhere. And he does have some wide arches that he was going to put on it, but they've not really turned into anything. So this car it never gets driven. I think I've seen Josh drive it about 3 times in the year and a half that I've been in the unit, which just seems crazy. I don't really know what his plans are with it other than that wide body. I don't even know if that is still happening. So this car just sits here. He drives his Volvo and his truck. And yeah, there's not really much else to say about this other than it sits here and does nothing. Moving on to the final 2 cars of this video, which are practically identical. Well, they're also identical to that. But this is a Cupra Boccanegra. As you can see, it's got some funky graphics on it. Liam's quite sad because he got put in one of those videos on TikTok with the sound that disses people's cars. It's got some Borbet wheels on it. He's not remapped it because the DSG box is slipping, but this has a K-brace in the back. It's got bucket seats, semi-stripped. It's lowered on, I think it's got KW. No, it used to have KWs, but then they died. So I think it might be on BCs at the minute. I'm not 100% sure. But this car is basically going to get shell swapped into that shell back there. Now, that is exactly the same car, apart from the engine doesn't work, but the DSG box is in good condition, and it's easier to swap the engine into that than take the engine and gearbox out of that and gearbox out of this and swap it all over. So engine from this is going in that. That also has a pan roof, so it's a higher spec car. And at some point, we're going to swap everything from this onto that. We've been saying this for the past year and a half, and it's never happened. So who knows when it's going to happen? Because like I say, Liam's got bigger priorities, such as the RX-7 and the MX-5s, and he's got too many cars for his own good. So I have no idea. He also has side skirts to go on this that he's never put on. So I really don't know what his plan is with this car. And currently, it's got no tax, no MOT. So it just sits here doing absolutely nothing. Now that pretty much wraps up today's videos. We've gone over my cars, we've gone over everyone else's cars. So if you want to see more videos individually on these cars and maybe a more in-depth look of what's actually been done to them, or even working on them, fixing them, or I don't think that one needs fixing. That needs a lot of fixing. So once again, I shall see you in tomorrow's video, because if you didn't know, we're doing this every day in January. No idea what day this is. I'm losing track. I know we've got a decent amount of videos out already, so if you haven't watched yesterday's video, make sure to go give that a watch. And if you want to watch tomorrow's video, hit that notification bell, and hopefully we shall see you tomorrow.